Morning! Hope you're all okay. Just trying to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be. Happy Monday! Oh, it's all flashed off. Am I here? Who knows? Hang on. I think I'm live now. Let's just see. Jay still says no. I'm saying yes. So, hope you've all had a lovely weekend. I feel like my internet's dead slow today. Yes, I'm live. I hope you had a fab weekend, happy Monday and all that jazz. I've still got 2 snowmen in my garden, which just feels ridiculous. It's over a week now. I don't think we've ever had snowmen for that long, ever. I've got a lovely path cleared out to my door, to my office, but the rest of the garden's still snow. Is it snowy where you are? Alright, so this morning, come and say hi if you're on. I don't think I can see things again like I couldn't the other week, but it's fine. I'm just doing my quick live before we go to co-working, which has moved today, so we're going to a new place because the one we normally go to is closed for refurbishment for a whole month, which seems like insane. So today I am talking about saying no, and we picked this topic because there are so many women in our group who feel like they have to say yes to everything. And I don't just mean business opportunities, say yes to everything their family want, their friends want, and they're buying into this story that to be a good, whatever it is, wife, mum, friend, that they have to say yes to things, and you really don't. So I want to have this idea of how to say no, and embrace it like guilt-free. Saying no is one of my favourite things. I do it a lot. Lots of you will have experienced it. If you ask me to do anything of an evening, like I will happily say no, or a weekend, I will say no, because generally that's my family time. That's the time I don't want to be out doing things, and I find it really easy. And the best part about saying no is once you get used to saying it, and once you've kind of marked out your boundaries for people to see, people stop asking. Like, none of the group asked me to go out for tea anymore, which half makes me sad. But equally, they don't ask me because they know I'm going to say no, and that has to be completely okay for me. And it is okay for me. I do get a bit snitchy sometimes, like I never get invited. Like, it's bullshit, I'm making up a story. Anyway, 10 tips basically on like how to say no. So first thing, prioritize your time. Like, we all only have so many hours in the day. There's not enough of them to do all of the things that we want to do. I never get to the end of the day feeling like I've done everything, because that's not how life is. I heard a phrase once that said something like, you'll never die with an empty inbox, because you won't. And even if you're dead, people still send you emails. Like, this is how life is. You will never ever do it all. So prioritize your time and realize that that's your most precious asset. Out of all the things you've got, your time is your most precious thing. So say yes to things that align with your goals and values. And again, another thing that I said once or heard once is that by saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So by saying yes to going out for tea, you're saying no to reading your kids' bedtime story, for example. So automatically, by saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So really check in on what that something else is. Is that a bigger priority for you than the stuff you've just said yes to? If you're running multiple businesses, which I see a lot of the times, you've got lots of women trying to do lots of different things. When you're spending time on one of them, you're not on the others. So don't tell me that like one of them's more important, but then you let your behaviour dictate otherwise. So it's really remembering that saying yes to stuff that aligns with your goals and values is the most important thing. Okay? And number 2 is this idea of quality over quantity. Like, understand saying no doesn't mean you're necessarily closing the door. It means you're picking your opportunities. You're choosing the ones that align better. So if you can focus your time on like the more high impact projects, that's so much more effective and healthy mentally than drowning in a sea of commitments where you're doing all things for all people. Like, pick your priorities and pick what it is that you want to be doing. Okay, I can't see your notifications. I've come on a different screen. Hi Jade, good morning. Morning Katie, I've just messaged you. Well, I think I pressed send, but I'm not sure. But hi, yeah, the comments are supposed to come up on the side, but they're not. So I'll keep checking. Number 2, like, have some transparency, and that's kind of linked to boundaries, which is the next one, but be open about your limitations and workload. Be able to say, I'm really sorry, I'm just too busy at the moment. Like, people really do appreciate honesty. It builds trust and it sets clear expectations. So be transparent. It's okay to say no because of, like, you're just too busy, or like, it's okay to say no because you don't feel like it, but be transparent about where you're at, which leads us on to the whole boundaries thing. Like, set your boundaries and stick to them. If you make them non-negotiable, people will stop trying to negotiate with you. If you are someone who constantly bends boundaries, people will keep pushing at them. Like, that's how it is. So this non-negotiable boundaries for your work hours and your personal time. Like, if you were in an office, you would leave the office at some point, and technically, in the old days, certainly, that would be it. You'd leave the office and you're done. Now, it's sort of like we just carry on wherever we are. Put some boundaries around it. You are allowed, this is your business, and you are allowed to treat it however you like. And communicate the boundaries. So you'll see that in my email footer, if you ever email me, when I reply to someone, it says my working hours are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 a.m. till 2 p.m. That's not necessarily true, but they're my boundaries for where people can expect a response from me. And anything else from that is if and when I want to. But yeah, communicate your boundaries. Find a way to make sure that you're holding them up. Stick a I'm working sign on your kitchen door if you need to. Like, wherever you're working, whatever you're doing, yeah, you are in control of that. Practice a positive no. So this, how to actually say no, is a really important thing. So this idea, if someone says, Rox, will you join PTA? I think you'd be really good on it. I hate kids, but still, whatever. Rox, will you join PTA? I think you'd be really good. Being able to say something like, thank you so much for thinking of me at this time, but it's a no. And then stop talking. You don't have to give all of the reasons and like make excuses. Basically, there's a tiny little, I call it the ball of uncomfortableness. There's a tiny little moment of uncomfortableness when you stop talking, where as long as you don't talk, you're fine. You let them talk. Because if you say, oh, thanks so much for offering me, I'm just too busy at the minute, I've got too much to do. They'll say, oh, but it doesn't take much time, it doesn't, whatever. As soon as you put a reason in there, they can counter you. If you say, thanks so much for asking me, but it's a no, they might try once to push you, say, oh, but you'd be really good, and be able to say, oh, I appreciate you think that, it's no, it's just not for me, and stop talking. Like, this is this positive way to say no, and repeat it as many times as you want. They will stop challenging you, but it's so much easier to navigate a no by stopping at the no and not putting any reasons in there, because as soon as you put a reason, you open up a negotiation, and that's not what we wanted to do. Okay, there's other ways that you can do it. So pass it on to someone. Say, oh, thanks, that's really kind of you, but it's a no from me at the minute. Have you thought about whoever? And put someone else forward that you think would really like that opportunity, that it might be really good for at this time. Okay, so practice a positive no, but almost a no without excuses or reasons. Remember, so I said saying yes is saying no to something else, but also remember that saying no is an act of self-care. Like, this is the idea that you're protecting the stuff that's important to you, and that's the definition of self-care. We all think it's bubble baths. I mean, it might be, and for me it often is, but saying no to something is completely an act of self-care and is really, really important. Number 7 is create a filter of some kind for evaluating opportunities. One of my lovely friends the other day said she'd put me forward for a podcast, and they don't fill me with any light now. You don't get much from them. I've enjoyed doing them for people that I know and like, but if you're doing it to I want to say grow, know, like and trust, there's a really important part to be checking of, like, how many people are listening to this podcast. Is it your ideal client audience? And what I'm sort of saying is develop a filter for the opportunities that are presented to you. Check if it aligns with your mission, the stuff that you want to do. Does it excite you? Like, the sort of trying to find an hour of quiet time around here to be on a podcast is really tricky, but there are some ones that I would go on. Like Chloe in our groups asked us to go on one, and I haven't booked time because none of the times fit. They're all afternoons, and at the minute they don't fit with me. but I would go on hers because I think it's a really interesting topic. But there are others you could waste a lot of time doing a lot of things that aren't part of your mission and that don't necessarily excite you, and that's really important. Hi Jane, nice to see you on here. I'll see you again shortly. Can't turn my page. Oh god, I really can't turn page. Number 8, surround yourself with support. So when you're saying no, build a network that understands and respects your priorities. You will always, no, that's not true. When you start, you will always feel guilty for saying no. I rarely feel guilty now. Rarely is not never. But lean on your support system if the guilt monster comes. This idea that you can lean in and say, oh, I had to say no to this and I feel really icky. Like, let those people talk you through it to remind you of all the reasons you're saying no. The support is everything. And recognise that your actual support network will never make you feel bad for saying no. And you can put on them as much as you need to. They will never ever make you feel guilty. Okay? Number 9 is learn to let go. Mel Robbins has just brought out a new book at the minute called Let Them. And it's this idea of, if people are going to think badly of you, let them. Like, you know who you are inside and your reasons for things, and you only owe it to yourself. Accept that you can't do it all, and recognise that it's lovely when you let go of stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. Like, really understand there's some beauty in all of that. So that learning to let go and let them it's such a wonderful skill. Okay? And then number 10 is celebrate the yes moments, the stuff that you actually want to say yes to. Like, make sure you do something to mark those occasions. Really understand that power of an intentional yes, where you've actually considered it and decided to go all in. And recognise that you can go all into your yeses rather than just like float alongside them. So every no that you say brings you closer to the yeses, as well as the reverse being true as well. So remember, it's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, and other people's agenda and not your agenda. So, and same with other people's priorities and not your priorities. Know what matters most to you and say no with confidence to the other stuff. And while you're doing that with your business, watch as your business thrives. Like, with the more intention and clarity you put behind it, the more it thrives and the more you enjoy you doing it. So embrace that freedom of saying no without feeling guilty about it. All right. Any questions, as always, drop them in for me. If you're watching on replay, give me a hashtag replay and let me know. But yeah, if you want anything, I'm around in the group. If you're coming co-working, I will see you in less than half an hour. Please remember, we're in a different place today. We're at the Harvester. It doesn't look like it's changed in my calendar. We are definitely at the Harvester at the Treble Bob, and I know a few of you are already either there or on your way there now. So I'll see you all shortly. Otherwise, I am not back on Monday because we've got a big Power Up Strategy Day planning session on Monday, so that's an all-day thing. So I'm not back for Facebook Live on Monday. Just checking. So it'll be the Monday after. But the Monday after is in the afternoon because it's our monthly meetup networking session. So if you're local, we've moved now from Clown, we've moved to Whitwell. So if you're local and you want to come to our monthly networking session, make sure you get booked on that. All the details are on filterfreebusiness.com. All right, ladies, have a fabulous day and I will see some of you very, very soon. Bye.